Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Nikki here, and today we are going to do part 16 of my series 30 Ways to Decorate a Junk Journal. And if you've missed any of the previous episodes, you can check out the playlist hashtag JJJ30, which shows you so far all the videos we've made up to date. So what we're going to do today, I have this little pocket in my journal here, and we need something to put in it. So I thought we'd make a nice, long, slim, mixed media journaling card arrangement, which of course will fit beautifully in my pocket. So the first thing we're going to do, now if you've watched this series the whole way through, you know one of the first ones was I made a masterboard with very neutral colours, like no colour at all other than, you know, neutral stuff. And it makes a great base for interest and ease when you want to make things like journaling cards. Now, what we're going to do first is we are going to grab the modelling paste. I love using this Montmartre light modelling paste. It works really well. It's incredibly good value, and all you need is a spatula to apply it. Oops, hang on, wait a minute. I forgot. I think before we start, always like to put a little piece of scrap paper down underneath so you don't end up with modelling paste where you don't want it. And what I've done, I've grabbed this very old stencil of mine. It has seen better days, but as you can see, it's a bit torn and twisted and broken, but I love the odd shaped leaves. I would actually happily buy this stencil again or something similar. It's fabulous for little projects like this. So we just need some modelling paste on the spatula, and then working slowly and carefully, we're just going to add some random leaf shapes. Of course, this is not the easiest stencil to use. Cause this a bit broken, but it's okay. It'll do the job. We don't need it to look perfect. I just want to give a hint of leaves for my background here. So just run it backwards, run it forwards, and then just go over it a couple of times to try and get a nice smooth surface. And if need be, you just add a bit more into certain spots. I'm sort of going to try and not worry about filling this area here because my focal point will be going down there. So I don't need to worry too much about that. It will be easier to adhere the focal point if we don't have too much bulk underneath it. So we'll sort of just avoid that area. It doesn't matter if some gets there, but we don't need to focus on that. So there we go. Very easy. This is fun to play with. I love playing with this stuff. Then you just keep going over it and over it until you get a smooth finish. If you, of course, want a rough finish, well, that's fine. Don't be so pedantic, but I tend to like it looking a bit slicker. Might just have to do this one down here, I think, because I've sort of semi-done it already, so I suppose I should finish that leaf. There we go. So then you just very gently peel your stencil away, and then you need patience while this dries. Now, this has got a little bit rough there, but honestly, that doesn't matter. So I'll go and wash all this. We're going to let this dry, and then we'll be back. Okay, so now the paste is all dry. On the directions it says to allow 4 to 6 hours, but I just usually leave it overnight to make sure it's all nice and firm. And now I want to add a little bit of watercolour. So the first layer we're going to do, I want to add sort of a darkish green. So I've just grabbed my El Cheapo watercolours here because I just want a sort of wash. Put a bit more water in. I just want to add a little bit of green onto some of these. It doesn't have to be a super duper covering. It doesn't have to be, I don't want to do all of them. Just want to add a little bit of colour, so by the time I finished the next step, we'll have a couple of different shades happening here. So I hope you are all well. Have you got any grand plans for Christmas crafting this year? I'm still undecided about exactly what I'm going to do. I have done all sorts of things in the past, but at the moment can't quite decide what I want. There we go. All right. Might just, let's do this bit in here. There we go. Maybe, what if we just add another colour too, just for the fun of it? You'll see where I'm headed with all this in a minute. I'm just having a bit of a play at the moment, and we're doing a little bit of experimenting here. So a little bit of this one, which is slightly lighter. There we go. Actually, and why not? What the heck? Let's add a third one. Some of these colours are almost dead, but I've already got another set of these as backup. I find when I'm doing mixed media projects, these little cheap colours are fabulous. They have so much variety, and they do a pretty fair job. Okay, let's leave that at that. Okay, so we're going to leave that dry just for a second, and I'll be back with the next part of the experiment. Right, now for the next part of this, I want to create a bit of a wash that we're going to swoosh over this. So I have Distress Oxide in Cracked Pistachio. We're just going to put a little bit down there. Then, years ago, I bought these Pearl-X powders. So they're a fine mica powder, and I never use them. So I thought if we take a little bit of this and pop this on here, I wonder if we can get a nice little bit of a gold sheen happening. I have no idea if it's going to work, but guess what? We're going to find out. So then we're going to apply plenty of water so that this all becomes a nice swooshy wash. I've no idea where the mica powder's gone. I can't see it at the moment, but that's okay. Let's see. Then we're going to, oh no, hang on a minute. I need might grab a sheet of scrap paper just for this. Hang on, we're going to see what happens. Hang on a minute. Whoops-a-daisy. You get over there. And then we're going to run this, of which I've now spilled half of it on my desk. But that's okay. We can tidy that up. Right, grabbing a tissue and just tidying that up. Now, I still have some left, so we're just going to apply that with a brush. So that didn't quite work the way I wanted it. It didn't run and dribble quite as I had planned. I wonder, maybe I didn't quite make enough. Anyway, that's all right. We'll dabble the rest on. Maybe we need to make a bit more. Let's have a look, because I want to get some of it onto the background. Oh no, maybe we'll just do it this way. Hang on. Let's have a try this. Interesting. Now, I've seen other people do this and it's worked out really beautifully, but I don't know about that. But in fairness, with the help of my brush, I now have everything covered that needs to be. I just didn't quite get that dribble effect that I thought I might. All right, let's leave this for a few minutes while I tidy this up, and we'll plan the next step. Okay, so the lucky last thing I want to add to this for now is I've got this Kaiser Craft Mist in lime green. I'm just going to add a few messy drops, and if you use these slowly, it comes out as drops rather than a really fine mist. So we're going to let that dry now, and then we will add our focal point. Okay, so here's my focal point. It's a very pretty flower that I got from a magazine, and of course I glued it down onto cardstock to give it some strength, but I also want to just add a little bit of something to it. Now, I bought this glue pen off AliExpress, and I have some super fine glitter here, and I thought what we could do is use this glue pen to follow along some of the lines of the petals, not all of it, but because this makes it nice and easy to do a relatively fine line, and then we can add a few little sparkles. I thought that might just be pretty, something different for a change, and I like sparkly things. So we'll just follow some of these petal lines around, maybe just a little bit there. I think that will do. And then we're just going to give this, whoops, if I can get this lid off, got it. And we'll just sprinkle this all over the little glue patches. We'll let it sit for a little while to dry, and then we'll dust off the excess and pour it back. So always do this on a piece of paper so that you don't have to waste all the glitter. But before I knock it off, I'll just let it sit and dry for a while. Okay, so I let my flower sit for about an hour, and now we can, oops, sorry, knocked my camera. Now we just tap this all off and grab a nice soft clean paintbrush to just get rid of the excess. Okay. And we now have some pretty sparkly highlights. I think that actually turned out really well. Have a look there. There we go. I'll clean that up a bit more later. Now, with my mica powder, I'm not really seeing it. If any of you have used these, what are they called again? Pearl-X powders successfully doing something, I would love to hear from you. I did just round the corners quickly, and then all we're going to do is pop our flower down about here, and I'm going to put it just so that it hangs over the edge slightly. So let's have a look. It's going that way, so we don't want glue right on the edge. Oh, now is this going to come out? Oh, it might be a bit stuck. Hang on 1 second, guys. I'll just grab my mini one. This should work a little bit better. Oh, there we go. Voila. And of course, I love hanging things over the edge. So we're just going to pop that down there. And that way, that peeks out of the pocket. And I think we will call that one done. So I'll just brush this off a little bit more, get rid of those final little bits. And then I'm going to sit this under a heavy book for a few hours, just so that it gets rid of the bends. Actually, I can see, if I move the light around, I can see a little bit of that mica powder. But it's not quite the effect I was after, but never mind. We learn, we try, we practice. There we go. So that's my little mixed media journal card. And I now have something for one of my pockets. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, pop them down in the box below. And I'd really appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this, as it helps other people see my videos. Until next time, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye for now.